Hello guys, Crispy here and welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm going to be testing the Radeon RX 6600 XT in Forza Horizon 5. This one is the Afox model of the card. We are running it with the latest AMD drivers and I'm not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech Power-Ups. GPU 0, resizable bar is also enabled. We got 8 gigs of GDDR6 to work with, and over on the left we're pairing it with the Ryzen 7 5800X 3D and 32 GB of RAM to avoid CPU bottlenecks. Let's get right into it, shall we? Let's go over the settings first. I'm starting this at 1080p using TAA over here, which looks better than these two for some reason in this game. I know, it's very weird. MSAA doesn't look anything special in Forza. FSR is turned off. I'm not going to utilize it in this video because, well, it just doesn't really do much here in Forza Horizon 5 in particular. And over on the graphics settings, we're using the Ultra Settings preset, and later on I will do a little bit of extreme as well. And here we go. Let's start counting our FPS. We're getting 130 plus so far, but this area isn't really that intensive. But I mean, this is gonna be a flawless experience basically, guys. It's gonna be buttery smooth with the 6600 XT at 1080p, and it's probably even capable of achieving super high FPS at 1440p as well, delivering a really amazing experience. On ultra settings, this game also looks really good. It gets close to extreme in most areas. Alright, everything is alright with our car still. I really don't want to wreck it. And just take a look at that power consumption. It is kind of insane from a last gen product, right? It's a 6600 XT, not like a 7600 or 7600 XT. It actually gets really close in performance to a 7600 GPU, the new one, you know. I don't have it here, but well, if you're interested, it's really similar FPS to this one. Honestly, I was expecting a little bit slower coming from the 6600 XT, but this game is super well optimized, as I'm sure you're aware of right now. Of course, a GPU with around like 1080 Ti performance will do wonders in Forza Horizon 5, right? Okay, we're almost in the city area, and I am just loving all of this greenery that we have in springtime in Forza Horizon 5. I was sick of like the desert look, all of the dry grass and stuff like that. This looks much better here. Now, city area dropping down into the lower 100s. That's still really good, of course. I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna complain about this performance coming from a 6600 XT, you know? So if you want to play Forza Horizon 5, this is a very compelling GPU to use here in this game. You know, if you're looking for a GPU deal, these GPUs, 6600 XTs, they are very good value at the moment, especially in the used market. Anyway, let's stop it there and play a little bit at 1440p next. This is it, 2560 by 1440, TAA is still being utilized. I mean, did you see it at 1080p even? It wasn't blurry like in other games. The implementation is amazing in this one. Ultra settings preset. By the way, yeah, Ooh, there is a warning message right there. But yeah, ray tracing says it's enabled in the settings menu, but only in Forza Vista. That's when you're taking like screenshots and stuff like that. So inside of the actual game, ray tracing doesn't really work, and that's why we're getting high FPS. Otherwise, it would be wrecked. I told you in my full review of the 6600 XT that it was actually a decent 1440p card, and while that's not true anymore for like The Last of Us Part 1s and the really intensive titles that are coming out completely broken these days, it is true for well-optimized titles in like 2022 games and older, basically. Alright, tunnel area right now, getting down into the 80s, pretty similar stuff, okay. 72 minimum, still doesn't even drop while getting out of the tunnel, which is the most intensive thing that you can do in this game, alright. Like, that is really good. I actually thought it would at least drop into the 60s while getting out of the tunnel, but no. It is looking absolutely gorgeous, way better than 1080p. Like 1440p is around 3.5 million pixels, 1080p is 2 million, so there is a huge difference there in pixel count. and you can tell, especially on like 27-inch monitors and above. Even on like 24-inch monitors, like 1440p looks way better than 1080p. Oh, and by the way, yes, we did have that VRAM warning thingy, but it didn't stutter whatsoever at 1440p, so it's completely fine, guys. Even if you run a little bit out of VRAM, as long as the RAM is enough, you're gonna be fine in Forza Horizon 5. Now, up to 4K resolution, TAA is still being utilized, and the ultra settings start counting our FPS, and now I can truly take a look at how this game is supposed to look. It is so damn gorgeous at 4K, man. Like, I remember this was one of the first games that I tried. Actually, the first one that I tried when I bought this monitor that I have. It's the LG C2 OLED, 42 inches. And man, it's so vibrant. It is so gorgeous at native 4K. Wow, it's big as well, it's very immersive, I just love it, my friends. It's very expensive as well, but it was a good investment, in my opinion. We're approaching the town or city area right here, 40s. It didn't really drop too much, this is interesting. Usually, especially with older GPUs, I guess, when you get to this town area... It's a city area. Chris, what the hell are you talking about? It's not a little town. Yeah, it drops by a ton, but not here with the 6600 XT. 39. This is actually super consistent. Will it even drop into like the 20s getting out of the tunnel? It barely moved. Did Forza developers actually fix something about the tunnels in this game? Or the cities? I don't know. Maybe it's just the 6600 XT being really, really good. The AMD GPUs do perform super well in Forza Horizon 5. Oh my god. That's gonna be wrecked. Okay. Yep, we lost our spoiler as well. A BMW M3 without a spoiler is not a racing car anymore. It's just a family car. Look at that. Alright, we should stop it there. It's still playable at 4K, but you'll probably want to lower it down to like high settings. And by the way, on high and 4K resolution, it's gonna be... Well, I'm not gonna tell you how it's gonna be. I'm gonna show you. Alright, here we are. So high settings, I can tell you right away, don't look anywhere near as good as Ultra in this game. It still looks good, but you can tell a lot of imperfections, like in faraway trees, for example. They're not as detailed like over there in the middle of the screen. That doesn't look good whatsoever, and it's not really that far away, is it? Anyway, if you require 60 plus FPS all of the time, even at 4K resolution, well, this is it. It will only drop in cutscenes with a depth of field effects, but here it is not dropping whatsoever. It's well above like 80 FPS even. I expected a little bit slower, maybe like 60 to 70 most of the time, but no, it's getting 70 to 90 most of the time. Look at this. Getting out of the tunnel, it only drops into the lower 70s. Wow. That just... Wow. All right. Again, it doesn't look anywhere near as good as it did at Ultra. But wow, since we're here, let's try it at like 1440p high settings as well, just to see some insane FPS, alright? Let's do this. Also, I don't know if I showed you, but we are using the high settings preset, okay? And, oh my god, that is crazy. So if for some reason you value the FPS more than the visuals in games like Forza Horizon 5 and you don't want like 100 FPS on average or whatever we got at 1440p previously, and you prefer 144 plus basically, or 120 plus to max out a high refresh rate 144Hz or 120Hz monitor, well, this is it. High settings will do it at 1440p. That's really good. Also, the temperatures are pretty high on the GPU. That's completely normal with my model because they say it's an engineering sample and it has some issue with the cooler. I actually believe them on that because my RTX 3070, also from Afox, has a really good cooler on it. It doesn't go past like 65 degrees Celsius. And it's not too different from this one, and that consumes a lot more power. So yeah, there's that. But it doesn't really throttle, so everything is all right. And damn, this performance is really good. And since we're here at 1440p, let's just try it at 1080p high, shall we, my friends? Just for a little bit. I'm curious. Okay? Oh boy! It hits 200! Damn, dude! It hits 200 FPS! Are you crazy? Oh, god damn it, I am crazy. I'm not driving well whatsoever, but that's just the norm, guys. If you're new to this channel, well, every time we got some cars in video games, they're gonna get wrecked, okay? Anyway, at 1080p, wow, that is crazy, actually. You know what I'm noticing? I'm noticing that with the NVIDIA GPUs, maybe it's because I'm playing at like ultra settings instead of high, usually, when I am CPU bound with higher end cards, but I saw that this CPU is good for like 130 FPS, like on the absolute minimum. And with the NVIDIA GPUs, I would get that like with the 4090, 4080, for example, on extreme settings or ultra. And here it only dropped to like 140 or 160 or something like that. It's just, yeah, it could be the driver overhead, but it's probably like the settings that we're utilizing, really. Let's go up to the extreme settings preset. I'm not gonna increase every single setting to the maximum here because I think extreme is way more intensive than ultra and it will start struggling, especially at 1440p. I just noticed that these glasses pair really well with the BMW M3, so I'm gonna go with them now. And also because there's a huge light staring at me and this is more comfortable, actually. I just remembered. That frame time is really weird right now. Why? On Ultra, it was buttery smooth. On Extreme, is it because it's running out of VRAM more? Yeah, probably is, guys. VRAM warning message right there. Also, obviously, the GPU doesn't only have 7 gigs of VRAM, like reported in Forza, but Forza always reports a little bit less than the actual VRAM that you have. It's probably the VRAM that's actually available for the game to use without any other Windows apps and stuff like that. Now, this is not good. I expected it to be way better. Power usage is not maxing out right now, so this is a classic out of VRAM, like heavily out of VRAM scenario here. Like, I haven't seen this in a while, honestly, but whenever you don't have full power utilization by quite a lot, you know. Oh my god, look at that, 8.5 out of 7. And you are VRAM bound at the same time, the GPU tends to not use as much power. I've seen this tons and tons of times with like GTA 5, for example, at 12K resolution or 16K resolution. Well, over here we're seeing it at 1080p, but with extreme settings, because extreme do consume a ton of VRAM. And on ultra settings, we were also VRAM bound, especially at like 4K, I think. But it didn't really have any frame time issues. So yeah, a little bit of a stutter right there as well. It's not really too bad, it's still playable, but it's dropping from 60. It looks slightly better than ultra. And yeah, with that frame time, it's just not good. It is what it is. At least the game is super playable at the intended settings for this GPU, like Ultra, you know? So I would definitely go with that. And yeah, if you were wondering if you should buy a card like this or the game for a card like this, well, now you know how it performs. Even at 4K high settings, it did a tremendously good job. So thanks very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you in the next one very soon. Love you all. Bye-bye.